Hey fellow babies, welcome back to the Pack Awards number 2. We did this last year. This is the second installment of the annual Pack Awards for 2024. I'm going to give you my favorite, my vote for best video game, best console, biggest story, industry person of the year, and then the best movie or TV show. So let's get to it. Now, game of the year, my best video game. Wow. It cracks me up whenever I see the nominees for Game of the Year because they always seem to come from indie games, and I get it. People like the innovation that you get from indie games. And yet, Black Myth, Wukong, whatever. Okay, I guess you liked it. I just don't get that excited about it. Like, I like seeing a well-executed Dragon Age more than I like seeing a Black Myth Wukong. I downloaded and I paid for it and play Balatro. It's great, but best video game? No, it's a card game. I would think a 7-year-old with a Unity license could figure out how to build the game. They may not come up with the gameplay, but they could certainly design the Joker cards and stuff. There's not, an 8 of spades is an 8 of spades. There's nothing phenomenal about the graphics. As I think through what I really enjoyed that surprised me and was better than I thought, it was Astrobot. That would be my game of the year. Now, I don't know that it's going to win any awards. Probably will, but it reminds me of Little Big Planet more than it reminds me of any other Sony game. Just fun, just like smile when you play it. And that, to me, that's what games are about. Now, I like shooter games, and I smile when I complete a difficult kill or I survive something that I shouldn't have survived. Strategy games, same thing. I smile when I do something that I didn't think I could do. And RPGs, I smile when I complete levels or do anything. But Astrobot, just the whole game made me smile. So, I have to say the game I probably play the most of all these, though, Balatro. But I'm not even sure I understand what the point is, because you lose it and you have to start all over again every time you lose. And you can skip levels, I get it. But I'm just learning what all the Joker cards are, and I get more decks and I get more Jokers, and I'm not really sure why I'm doing any of this, but it's fun. I got $10 worth of value out of it in the first 2 weeks, so very happy with that. But Astrobot's my favorite. You guys may have your own. I'm not as big on, any kind of sword fighting, dragon fighting, fighting games. Like, I just don't care. To me, they're all the same. And Black Myth, I don't get that being nominated. The review scores weren't that high. It's possible we're getting an influx of Eastern journalists on the voting panels, which kind of explains games that really appealed in the East like that. But Astrobot, I think, had universal appeal. So I'm going to stick with that one. Best console, by far, the Switch. And in fairness, I like my Xbox. I hardly ever play on it. I like my PlayStation. I only played Astrobot on it. There just hasn't been enough games to keep me engaged. And I played Zelda for months. They send me codes, in fairness, and Sony doesn't. So I have to buy Sony games. I don't have to buy Nintendo games. But every time I download a Nintendo game, I play it. So they just keep me engaged. And sometimes I play them for like a day or two, but every 2 months, at least 6 times this past year, I've downloaded something and played it. Okay, so biggest story, I would say the industry reorganizing and laying people off. And I think that's a sad story because it impacted a lot of lives. I think fortunately, people who lost their jobs did so in a very strong job market. So I think that most of the people who were impacted were able to find jobs because there are other jobs out there. Not necessarily in game development, it depends on what they were doing for the game development company. But the talented guys, that were level designers and high-end artists all got jobs. That largely happened. I think that lower-end people, quality testers and stuff, may have had to change careers to find jobs, but in fairness, the games industry doesn't pay that much, and there's plenty of jobs out there, at lower wages. But I think the big story is just that the industry gets it so wrong, and that they have to make such a huge adjustment. So they overhired way too much in 2020 and 21, and they overfired way too much in 2023 and 24. And that just continued. It feels like it's almost over. Like, again, the Concord studio being shut down. What a disaster for Sony. I mean, what an abject failure by a company. Yeah, the Firewalk guys, it's not their fault that the game didn't commercially, succeed. It's Sony's fault. Sony told them what to do, and they did it perfectly. It's just that it was a bad idea to charge for that game. If it had started as a free-to-play game, it would not have been as big coming out of the gate, and it might have grown into something big. The announcement that they were going to, reset and give everybody their money back, we all thought maybe they meant they were going to make it free to play, but shutting the studio down means nope, they gave up. So I'm a believer that that the industry will continue to employ the talented people, and I'm a believer in managements at the big companies being just abjectly stupid and making bad decisions. But that's a big story this year, that without much consequence, these publishers and developers laid off people like crazy based on their own mistake in overhiring, and they just weren't held accountable for it. So I'm glad that it happened when the job market's strong, because at least most of the people impacted were able to find jobs, and they settled pretty well. Okay, industry person of the year. I would not have said this until this week. Shu Yoshida. Shu Yoshida is one of the guys that had the most impact on Sony PlayStation over the last 30 years. I mean, he's 31 years at Sony. His titles have varied, but the simple description of his job is head of Sony Worldwide Studios. And he wasn't, because he got replaced twice. Sean Layden took over that job, and then Herman Hulst took over that job for a bit. But Shu was the constant that was always the executive in charge, whatever his title. And any Sony game, any Sony first-party game that you played in the last 25 years was because of him being on it. And sure, the studios did a great job, but look at the God of War franchise. Came out of the gates really strong, and each iteration was better. That's Shu. I think he's a guy who I'm sure made plenty of money in his career, but way under-recognized, way under the radar. Just a really unassuming, quiet, nice man. I think the industry's going to miss him. I really do. I think that he is the person of the year, and I can't say anything he did in 2024 that makes him person of the year. Let's give him credit for Astro Bot. Best movie or TV show. Boy, this is going to come as a big shocker to all of you who know me. Fallout. Oh my God. And I gotta say, I played Fallout. I played this out of Fallout 3, and I played Fallout 4 as well. And I remember there was a character in Fallout 4, Charon, Charon. He had a shotgun, and you had to get Charon's shotgun. I forgot. I mean, because it's been 9 years since I played a Fallout game. I forgot that there were sentient ghouls. Like, for some reason, your memory is all the ghouls who chased you, the glowing ghouls that you had to just blow up. But there were the sentient ghouls of Charon, who was your sidekick, who would kill anybody that came near you. And I forgot about them. And that Walton Goggins character, I don't remember the name of the character. My God, is he amazing. Like, wow, what a great actor. And he made that whole show. Like, the idea that there's this whole conspiracy theory vault, whatever, next to 32 is I can't remember which one's which, but the vault next to the main vault, and that there's mutants in there and guys with three eyes. It's so clever. We're going to find out what happened. And then I loved that the final scene of this season's show, I'm not ruining it for you, I promise, shows like a escape of Las Vegas. So we're going to kind of move into Fallout New Vegas. So what I love is, go watch the credits on the show. It's the entire Fallout crew are executive producers. They all had a piece in writing and all that. I love that show. I think my only regret is there's only 8 episodes. I wish there was 100. I really like Deadpool versus Wolverine and Wolverine. Whatever. I love that movie. That's it, I think, for Pack Awards 2024. Thank you for joining us on our special edition Pack Awards 2024 number 2. I promise I'll be back several times between now and then, but look forward to doing this again in 2025. I just got to stay alive. So appreciate all your support. Follow me on Twitter. That makes me smile as well. See you guys next time.